Venezuela makes history, claiming victory at the World Baseball Classic. Senate lawmakers reach a vote.
The biggest thing coming up is the Save America Act in the Senate.
On the Save America Act bill. And chaos during spring break.
That's not my job.
As a false threat leads to a panic at the beach. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Adrian Diaz-Lejo.
And I'm Valeria De Sosa. Today is Wednesday, March 18th, 2026.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
It's this moment Venezuelans have been dreaming of for years, and now it's reality. Venezuela is celebrating history today after defeating the United States to win its first World Baseball Classic title.
And as Jose Carlos Rodriguez shows us, it wasn't just the game on the field, but the energy that defined the night.
Venezuela makes history in Miami, beating the United States to win its first World Baseball Classic title. A final that was full with moments of tension and a crowd that felt every pitch.
An indescribable feeling. Honestly, we never thought we'd make it this far, but we always had faith. And in that moment, all we could do was scream and cry.
For many Venezuelan fans, this moment carried years of waiting, and not only in baseball.
In sports, we've suffered a lot, really, a lot. The last big moment we had was winning in basketball years ago, but baseball has always been our strongest sport, and I think we've finally proven that. Now, it's time to enjoy this and put Venezuela's name high on the map.
In the end, it all came down to the final out.
And it was in this very field that Venezuela, just a few hours ago, beat the U.S. and claimed the victory to its first World Baseball Classic championship.
A tournament filled with moments like this, and a final that delivered until the end.
And that's how we say goodbye to this amazing tournament. It was full of surprises, from the Italian team and their amazing run, to the earlier goodbyes we said to the Dominican Republic, to now Venezuela winning its first World Baseball Classic. We cannot wait what the next one will bring. At the Low Depot Park, I'm Jose Carlos Rodriguez, Caplin News.
The Senate began taking up the SAVE Act yesterday, a controversial bill tied to voting access.
Our DC Bureau reporter Cassie Martinez has more on what this means.
After clearing a key procedural hurdle, the SAVE Act is now officially up for debate in the Senate, setting the stage for what could be a prolonged political fight. Senators have voted to begin debate on the SAVE Act, allowing lawmakers to now bring the bill to the floor for discussion and political amendments. But this does not mean the bill is close to becoming a law. Republicans still do not have the 60 votes needed to overcome a filibuster, making final passage in the Senate unlikely. The SAVE Act would require proof of U.S. citizenship like a passport or birth certificate to register to vote in federal elections. Supporters say it strengthens election security and ensures only eligible Americans cast ballots.
The biggest thing coming up is the Save America Act in the Senate. That's voter ID and proof of citizenship and no mail-in ballots, corrupt mail-in ballots. We're the only country in the world that does it that way, corrupt as hell.
Democrats are already signaling strong opposition, saying the bill could disenfranchise millions of voters by limiting ballot access.
Let me be very clear. The SAVE Act is not a voter ID bill. It is in every sense a voter suppression bill.
President Trump has been pushing Republicans to take up the bill, making it a key issue ahead of midterm elections. And the Senate voted 51-48 to begin debate, but with Republicans still short of the 60 votes needed to pass it, lawmakers could keep this bill on the floor for days. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Cassie Martinez.
Travel troubles are piling up for millions of Americans this week, from long TSA lines to widespread flight delays due to the weather, and the situation is only getting worse.
Our DC Bureau reporter Alejandra Fonseca joins us live from Ronald Reagan National Airport with what travelers need to know. Good morning, Alejandra.
Good morning. Travelers headed to Reagan National Airport today are expecting major delays, and it's not just because of the spring break crowds. Across the country, a mix of short staff, government shutdown, and severe weather have created a perfect storm for air travel delays and cancellations.
Many TSA agents are now working without full pay due to the ongoing partial government shutdown, which began in mid-February after funding for the Department of Homeland Security lapsed. As a result, more officers are calling out of work, leading to fewer staffs and longer lines.
The fact is they can't afford it. Most TSA workers, as most Americans are, living paycheck to paycheck.
With the surge in spring break travel, especially for local school systems,
the lines going through TSA were really long. It was a really frustrating time being there. Nobody seemed to give us an answer as to how long it was going to.
The problems don't stop there. The weather is making things even worse. Thousands of flights across the U.S. have been delayed, with hundreds more canceled following the recent storms across the region on Monday. Here at Reagan National Airport, there was even a temporary ground stop earlier, adding to the backlog.
Democrats are pushing for changes to immigration enforcement as part of a deal to give funding back to the department. As of right now, there's no agreement in sight. In the meanwhile, travelers are being urged to get to the airport on time and expect possible delays as well as cancellations. Reporting live for Caplin News, Alejandra Fonseca.
The director of the National Counterterrorism Center is stepping down, citing his concerns over America's involvement in the war with Iran. Joe Kent was personally appointed by President Trump at the start of his second term, but is now stepping down as he feels Iran never posed as an imminent threat and that Israel pressured the U.S. into this war. The White House says that the strikes were necessary, citing intelligence reports of a potential threat.
A federal judge orders the Trump administration to allow over 1,000 sidelined Voice of America employees to return to work by next week. The ruling wrote that the President Trump's pick to manage the VOA's Kari Lake was unlawfully running the U.S. Agency for Global Media, which gutted the U.S.-funded international broadcaster, putting most of their employees on paid administrative leave. Lake says she will appeal the ruling.
A chaotic scene broke out in Daytona Beach on Saturday as spring breakers caused a stampede by emulating the sound of gunshots by crushing water bottles. Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood explained that the situation happened during an unsanctioned event promoted on social media. This led up to a crowd of 10,000 visitors. Sheriff Chitwood also expressed his displeasure with the Daytona Beach Commission's lack of approval for the event. Commissioner Stacy Cantu stated the following.
This commissioner will give any tools that the police department wants, but I am not going to sit on social media and look for every event. That's not my job.
While no shots were fired on the beach, Sheriff Chitwood states that Daytona Beach police say they responded to 4 shootings within 24 hours on Saturday.
Are you tired for waiting a whole day for your Amazon package? Because now there's a solution for that.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
Prices here in the United States by several $100s per ton.
Want to know why you're paying more at the supermarket? Find out when Newsbreak comes back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
The war in Iran continues to affect the average American. Grocery prices are on the rise as the conflict in Iran continues to disrupt shipping in the Strait of Hormuz.
This raises concerns for American farmers in need of fertilizer production and trade. CNN's Michael Yoshida has more.
If we miss that window, we could have catastrophic crop failure.
Alarm bells sounding over disrupted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz and the potential impact to American farmers.
Worst case scenario, a grower may not be able to get a crop in the ground. And of course, that's going to lead to food security conversations.
The waterway is critical for transporting supplies needed to make fertilizers, as well as the finished products, including about half the world's supply of urea, a nitrogen fertilizer for crops like corn. Also, about a third of global exports of ammonia, key for most nitrogen fertilizers, and sulfur, another vital nutrient for crops. Shipments that have essentially stopped since the war.
With the closure of that strait, it's lifted prices here in the United States by several $100s per ton. So that immediately squeezes farmers' bottom line.
I've not seen this level of disruption before. Urea prices are up 50% since that Friday before.
According to the Fertilizer Institute, the U.S. imports about 35% of its fertilizer needs every year, with supplies often arriving just in time for use.
I'm told we still need to import about 25% of our need for March, April, May application.
Now, spiked costs and already low crop prices could lead to tough decisions.
We'll have to adapt either to plant a different crop that is uses less fertilizer or potentially reduce the amount of fertilizer that they use, which could have an impact on crop yields and ultimately prices.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
You may not need to worry about last-minute shopping anymore, as you may now have a 1-hour delivery option when browsing through Amazon. The e-commerce giant made the announcement yesterday that the option is now available in hundreds of locations. For an extra $10 for Prime users or $20 for everyone else, you can get items directly within the hour. There's also a 3-hour option around thousands of locations for $5 less. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back. Yes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
To reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Adrian Diaz-Alejo.
And I'm Valeria de Sosa. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.